he needs not someone who can just do like Red Wiggly Woos, but he needs a Scarlet Witch who has absorbed all of Agatha's collected magic.
And then he would know that she read the book. And not to shame Doctor Strange, but he had to do all that stuff in his sleep. She's consciously walking around drinking tea and doing a bunch of stuff. So he probably is like, I know how strong you are. Like, I'm aware of it. You read the book. Though it's evil, you read the book. So that definitely could be a probability. That could absolutely happen.
I think we came with a good answer for that one for now.
Anything your wild child does, Pampers Cruisers 360 Fit can too. With a stretchy waistband.
Answer for that one for now. As much of an answer as we could. What's our next wizard?
Wizard of... Did they troll us by casting Evan Pietro?
So a lot of you guys keep asking about this. We wanted to include it because it's an important one. I did talk about this in the video. Matt Shackman did say on Kevin Smith and Martin Bernardin's podcast that it was kind of a mix of a lot of things. He wrote it off. It was like a meta joke, but they wanted an alternate Pietro instead of Aaron Taylor Johnson in a way to reflect one is grief. Now grief can kind of twist your worldview that way, which I get the emotional thing of that. I think what they're afraid to say is that, we just thought it would be a joke that you would like, and now that because it confused fans more than it blew their minds in a good way, they're kind of weirdly backpedaling into these other excuses.
They are backpedaling, and I'm like, go ahead, do you? Because I would have done the same thing. I would have gone on a podcast and been like, let me air out what happened, you guys. Even if it seems like I'm bringing up stuff that doesn't need to be said. Like, they definitely are backpedaling. I understand completely. That podcast made me feel better about the ending episode.
Yeah, me too. And I think what's hard about this is, like, in my opinion, as much as you and I love, like, looking into interviews and seeing, like, Q&As with the filmmakers, a good piece of art should not need additional explanation in a podcast Q&A. All answers should be satisfying enough to an audience just for watching it. I assume a lot of people were satisfied enough with the WandaVision, but I feel I was satisfied enough where I didn't need him to explain it.
But to know that there was a 10th episode and they couldn't do it was enough for me to be like, we probably would have got a little bit more figured out by then. So I'm sorry. And then he was also like, the first 3 episodes were supposed to premiere that quickly. And I was like, that sucks. I get you on that.
I think what he was doing there is he's kind of signaling to people who are still disappointed or confused that, look, this could have been a lot worse. Like, the fact that it came together this well was a little miraculous. It was due to the hardworking talent of everyone. And, like, a lot got moved. COVID delayed everything. They had to reconfigure much of it. And he just finished, he locked in the finale, 2 weeks ago. So they were editing these episodes as they were coming out, you know?
Really?
So I felt more impressed with Matt Shackman after listening to that podcast.
After listening to it, I was like, I need to keep in mind, which I think all of us as fans should, is like, COVID did put a halt on so much. And, like, the effects it had in entertainment, they couldn't even afford to do more VFX. Like, that was where they were just like, we don't have enough time. We literally have to do everything. So after that, I was like, that's true.
Well, and COVID, the fact that it delayed certain things, like WandaVision was supposed to be fourth in the lineup. The fact that it was first, I think just put a high expectation on everything in it to answer every question. And I don't think they initially intended Evan Peters' thing to be more than just kind of like a fun little thing that people wouldn't take too seriously. I would argue maybe if it came up fourth in the lineup, people still probably would have gone crazy over it.
Okay.
But that's why they tried to prevent it from leaking. They put clothes over this guy's head. Somehow it still got out. And I think once it happened, they're like, damn it, people are going to go crazy over this and read too much into it.
We can't do anything about it. Okay, well, let's get get into the third one because I am going to connect it to the timeline and how it went backward. So, was Jimmy Woo's missing person? I'm gonna slightly tie this in. I still do think, after reading you guys tweets at me, messages to me, I do fairly believe that it could be Ralph still. A different, not. It's hard to explain. Not necessarily Ralph Boner, but like her husband. It could still be Agnes's husband, not necessarily Ralph. We just didn't give the husband a husband name. We just said Ralph. Whether it's like an actual husband or a demon or a god or whatever, I still think that character still exists and maybe is the missing person. To attach to that, I think the missing person will be featured in Falcon and Winter Soldier, and that's what it has to do with the timeline. Yes. So I was like, there has to be a connection with Winter Soldier and WandaVision. And when I say there has to be, that's just how I speak. There doesn't have to be. But it would be like, why wouldn't there be, right? We want to all touch on everything. We want everyone to connect slightly. So I was like, I pitched long ago on Rogue Theory that I think they're just going to do the buddy cop thing, fighting crime and doing that with the government, and within the government, within the FBI, the missing person is probably going to be featured in Falcon and Winter Soldier, and that's where that missing person was going to go in WandaVision, because Falcon and Winter Soldier is supposed to come first, right? So if that person goes missing, and then it's in WandaVision, you're like, oh, it's that person from Winter Soldier. So I think, because they swapped it, they're like, it's not going to be that big of a deal. People will just see Falcon and Winter Soldier and be like, oh, that's the guy from WandaVision.
And do you think that whoever this dude is just ends up in New Jersey and he's somewhere in the background of that town?
Even if he's like, I don't think he's gonna be a big part of Falcon and Winter Soldier. I think he's gonna be like, and this is my friend Ralph, not exactly, but like, this is my friend Herbert or Ralph or Thomas or whoever. He's in charge of so and so, and that so and so is gonna be very important. And then he becomes a missing person.
Oh my god!
He's in Westview. But I think that's where we're gonna see him. But you go.
I mean, I've made a case against Ralph just because there's so many weird things. It seemed like the context of that scene was like, he's just a dude. He's not anyone more important than what we're saying right now in this scene. That's what disappointed me. That, like, it was Ralph Boner. It's a reference to Boner from Growing Pains, and that's all that was. But I honestly feel more that Dennis, the pizza delivery guy / mailman in the Hex, he seems like, and now I think of it, it's more an age thing. Like, he seems like the age of a kind of guy who has to go into federal witness protection because he's risen up too high to be a witness to testify against mafiosos. Whereas Evan Peters seems like a guy in his 30s. Like, I don't know a whole lot about the world of witness protection, but normally it's like people who are older who have risen high enough to get dirt on other people in organized crime to bring them down.
That's true. You know that I think there's something sketchy about that mailman. I am still on board. He might be the person in Bucky and Winter Soldier,
that's why I think Don't Shoot the Messenger was all about that. Like, don't shoot the messenger, because that's something you can imagine a guy saying, like, don't shoot me, I'm just a messenger, Tony, don't shoot me.
I want to hold on to the theory that he might be, if we combine our things, and if the mailman delivery guy is in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and then we can connect the two and be like, that's why he was so important. That's why he got all those one-liners. Because he got too many. We can't just jump that.
He did. Well, also, can't we say that this show, one of the great things about it was they did give a lot of love to the full supporting cast. Like, Herb got a lot of great lines. Toddy got a lot of great lines. The guy who played Jones, Phil Jones, it's so funny. Like, he got so many good jokes. Like, everyone felt like they played an important role. It was like a small ensemble play.
Norm, I forget the comedian's name. He has a TikTok account that's just about him being like, I'm not gonna spoil it for you.
Yeah,
I need
see
this
that.
job.
Yeah. It's so funny. I can't get a new job during COVID.
I can't do this. He's like making up lies. He's like,
so
I have to pay for my butt. I live in LA.
Well, and I think we have to acknowledge, what is the opposite razor of this? Like, it might have just been a detail that the writers just said, well, how do we get Jimmy Woo in this? FBI deals with missing people, or they deal with witness protection, so he just had someone, and that's how he meets Monica Rambeau, and they never expected it to be more than that. But that was the only time it was brought up, right? He just said it in that one scene. and we were all like, holy shit. And I don't think Jimmy Woo ever again brings up, he's like, by the way, I'm still looking for my witness.
Yeah, he's not gonna bring it up to Doctor Strange. He's like, has anyone seen my boy? My boy, he's missing. Yeah, I don't think so.
Alright, our next Wizard of Jessica, Wizard of happened to the rabbit singer Scratchy. This is something that we actually covered in yesterday's video a little bit. It comes at the very end of the podcast. Matt Shackman said that there was a deleted scene in which this rabbit was to be revealed as Agatha's familiar, which, you know, in witchcraft is like your animal companion who helps you do evil shit. And that he was in charge of protecting the Darkhold, and that when the kids tried to go steal the Darkhold, this rabbit would transform into a monstrous demon, American Werewolf in London style, and like the Goonies, chase them around that dungeon.
Oh, that would have been so fun. But now we know exactly what happened to Senior Scratchy and what we were slightly missing.
Nothing. And I'm a fan who wants to see every deleted scene of everything, you know? And that's kind of a bummer. Like, Disney Plus sometimes releases deleted scenes, but not always. And Shackman said that the effects wasn't finished on this. So
they could eventually one day, like, especially if, like, COVID is getting better, it's lifting, whatever, what have you, if they have more time, money, they could easily just add the VFX, because they already shot it. So they just need to do it in post.
Well, you know, Disney Plus, when Disney Plus launched, they did have some MCU Infinity Saga deleted scenes. They had one from Thor Ragnarok where it was like Odin in like the alleyway, and when the Bifrost arrives, there's kind of some goofy, derpy looking potato like placeholder effects. Oh, and then in the scene where Hulk has a whole deleted scene where Banner becomes Hulk in Infinity War. They don't delay it to Endgame. And they show a whole scene where they had the computer-generated effects, and, like, his arm is, like, clipping through his legs, and they just have Ruffalo's voiceover. So they could release an unfinished version of it, and that's what I want to see.
They could. You just have to give it time, as much as Endgame did that with Disney Plus.
I don't think, I don't know, I didn't see whatever cut Matt Shackman was looking at. The guy's a good storyteller. I trust him as a director. If he said it needed to go, I believe him. But, like,
it also doesn't seem like it was going to be that important. It's more so just for, like, we would have seen, like, oh, Senior Scratchy, but it doesn't seem like it's okay that we lost it.
Right. I think for most people, they could just kind of surmise that it was familiar. Maybe Shackman's like, oh, let's go on a podcast and just tell people what I really want.
He should have told everything.
Yeah, he assumed it rightfully that most viewers wouldn't really care. So I think a lot of viewers ended that episode and didn't really think, hey, where was that rabbit? I think a lot of us did, but most didn't.
I think I did.
I did too. So what is that rabbit?
Tell me where that rabbit went. It ate that bird. I keep bringing that up, and people are like, it turned back into a fly. And I'm like, I don't care. There was a feather that came out of its mouth. It was a bird. I saw it consume it. Either way, it consumes something too fast. The rabbits eat Cobb salads.
They eat Cobb salad, you're right.
They eat Cobb salads, damn it, not birds.
And when they eat Cobb salad, they pick around the bacon and the...
They better. They better be in that leaf. Wizard was the aerospace engineer, and if it wasn't anyone special, why did the show make it such a big deal?
I know, and I gotta say, Shackman, I don't think is a very good answer for this. He's like, I wanted it to build up to Monica's rover sequence. He's like, I spent all this time on this, and I assume by rover sequence, I thought he was just talking about the rover just rolling out in front of it, but no, I think he also means Monica pushing through, which I agree, one of my favorite scenes in the whole series.
It was great, but we were looking for the aerospace engineer. We weren't. It doesn't take away. If you would have put that in there, and then also her going through the hex, I would have been like, these are both two great scenes. Instead, you kind of just lied to us. You were like,
I don't think he properly expected. It's not just him; it's the writer, it's the editor, it's everyone who worked on it. They include these close-ups of Monica writing on a phone, but wouldn't show us who she was talking to.
Show me that screen. Dang it.
And I think really was just talking about Major Goodner. Major Goodner was that extra. At least that's what Shackman implied. Is the actress who played Major Goodner that he really likes was that person. But, like, why would they not just say, like, hey, I got another contact named Major Goodner who's going to help me with this? Why did they build that up to be a mystery?
I have no idea. I really don't want to believe in storytelling in this line. They thought, like, two positives make a negative. Like, such a weird way. I'm not a great storyteller, but I would know not to do that if I wrote it. To be like,
right.
You're gonna go see the engineer. Psych, I want you to see this woman change and turn into a hex. It's like, but you lured me here with something else.
See, and I think that might have been part of. It sounds like a lot of the real world stuff was reconfigured. A lot of the Tiana Paris scenes, the Kat Dennings scenes, the Randall Park scenes. They might have re-edited a lot of that stuff.
Exactly.
And that was just some kind of weird configuration of that is what we saw. Mm-hmm. And then after it came out, Shackman's like, "Oh no, they're taking away the wrong thing."
No, I said, look at her, and I'm like, but who's the engineer? I'm like, is it Reed Richards? You know we're crazy. You know I'm insane.
It honestly is. He is such a moving target. Everyone who makes these Marvel movies, it's like your audience is insane. So
don't put a
you
tissue
need to
box
spell it out to us.
unless you want us to assume this tissue box is a front. It's something else. There's
You're
a house
talking
inside.
to conspiracy theories.
Hank Pym lives in it. There's a mansion in there. It's just small.
Right.
Literally.
But one we're still waiting for an answer for. Wizard happened to that beekeeper, and why did he turn to a beekeeper to begin with?
People are still upset about the beekeeper?
They're still on that beekeeper.
Dude, that was episode 2 or 3.
Mm-hmm.
2. That was so long ago, it feels like.
Yeah, so I think what we've been saying kind of the whole time, we never did see him expel, but presumably he just got expelled when Wanda said no and reversed it, and that reversed him walking out. That doesn't mean he's still reversing through his whole life, so I do love that idea. They're like, why is this guy tenanting back to high school? And why is he was in 10th grade last year, and now he's in 9th grade?
Jeff, where are you going? I gotta go! We don't know what's going on with him, but he likes to scat. They're like, he's not scatting. I don't know
he's like a world famous scatter. This little boy is such a good scatter.
He's such a good scatter. And he's just getting younger by the day. It is kind of annoying that they never went back to him, but he's probably just in the health, where Wanda was when she came back. He probably went back in there and was just being also worked on and was like, do you remember anything that happened in there?
I think he was in that sword camp somewhere, and eventually he's turned into a carny when that worked into a carnival.
He went from a beekeeper to a carny. The only life I want.
But why was he changed into a beekeeper? I don't know.
Maybe, it was the suit. I think it was the suit.
I think it was just he was wearing a suit, and they're like, what's another non-military, non-radiation based kind of covering that you can wear that is just more domestic in a way, and it's like, a beekeeper.
Yeah. And honestly, that's the closest thing you can do other than AIM, which AIM wasn't a part of it. I have died on that hill. See, you died on the Mephisto Hill, which is more, the Mephisto Hill is more realistic than me being like, looks like Swarm's coming in.
It's AIM.
Look, it's AIM and it's Swarm. They're both coming in. We got more Nazis. Come on. We got more Nazis.
But before we continue, we want to thank some friends who helped make this episode. Thank you to Stereo. New Rockstars is excited to partner with the Stereo app for a whole lineup of weekly live shows. Download the Stereo app for free at stereo.com/newrockstars. Our schedule is slightly different this week as we have some new projects starting. So you're going to want to make sure to follow the New Rockstars account on Stereo and check the upcoming events so you don't miss anything. This week you're going to hear some new voices as well as and Falcon the Winter Soldier on all of our Stereo shows. You can interact with us through voice submissions and hear your questions answered live on the show. Hearing from you all has been the best part of doing these shows, and some of you are super funny and you have some great theories. You can hear previous episodes of any of these shows on the Stereo app, access these live shows, share your questions and theories, and interact with us in real time by downloading the free Stereo app at stereo.com/newrockstars. That's stereo.com/newrockstars. Support for Inside Marvel is brought to you by Manscaped, the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. They've got the best tech to trim below the deck. I love it when it rhymes. Manscaped is trusted by over 2 million men worldwide. I mean, we didn't have a Wolverine cameo in WandaVision, but if Hugh Jackman had popped up, he would have been beautifully groomed and not with those dangerous adamantium claws, because they'll slice off anything they touch. Manscaped has redesigned the electric trimmer. The Manscaped engineering team spent 18 months perfecting the greatest ball hair trimmer ever created, Lawnmower 3.0. Their third-generation trimmer features a cutting-edge cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to advanced skin-safe technology pioneered by Manscaped. The battery will last up to 90 minutes, and waterproof technology allows you to groom in the shower. Experience it firsthand for yourself. Get 20% off plus free shipping with the code WandaVision at Manscaped.com. Your balls will thank you. Get 20% off free shipping with the code WandaVision at Manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at Manscaped.com and use the code WandaVision. We also want to thank our friends at Magic Spoon for sponsoring this episode. Lots of us are trying to eat better, but a healthy breakfast doesn't have to be boring. Magic Spoon is the flavors you love without all the bad stuff. Each serving has 0 grams of sugar, 13 to 14 grams of protein, 4 net grams of carbs, and only 140 calories a serving. It's keto-friendly, gluten-free, grain-free, soy-free, low-carb, GMO-free. Get yourself a variety pack of 4 flavors, cocoa, fruity, frosted, and peanut butter. Go to magicspoon.com/marble to grab a variety pack and try today. And be sure to use our promo code MARBLE at checkout to save $5 off your order. And Magic Spoon is so confident in their product, it is backed with a 100% happiness guarantee. So if you don't like for any reason, they'll refund your money, no questions asked. Remember, get your next delicious bowl of guilt-free cereal at magicspoon.com/marble and use the code MARBLE to save $5 off. And thank you to Magic Spoon for sponsoring this episode. All right, Jessica, back to our WTFs. Wizard did Wanda unleash?
There's 2 ways this could go in my book. So one, she could have just unleashed what I said earlier. I think we both agree. All the portals and like just releasing like different portals around the globe or universe that are like releasing the multiverse, so different dimensions. Okay. Ultimately, B, if she was at Wundagore Mountain. Okay, so what if she was at that mountain, right? What if she had to be closer to that mountain because that's where the book came from? Because of the demon. I'm not gonna say the demon's name. After you tweeted about the demon's name, I'm too afraid to say the demon's name.
Say it 3 times, Olivia.
Chia. I can't say his name. I don't want to say it.
Taco Town, USA.
I was like, I don't want to say it because I know I'm going to butcher it. But,
yeah.
So when
someone responded in a great way that it's based on Cthulhu, and human vocal cords and mouths cannot pronounce it. Otherwise, we would go insane if we did pronounce it correctly.
Okay, so I can't pronounce it correctly because I'm not insane. And watch me pronounce it correctly. But what if she unleashed the demon, or she unleashes Mephisto? So I'm like, I think it's one of the 2. She either unleashed a demon, or she unleashed just portals over the world, releasing different people from different dimensions. Because that would be reason for why we're gonna get Doc Ock in Spider-Man: No Way Home, right? Because
that could be one way if they do make it an actual multiverse thing rather than keep it just there the whole time confusing.
Is there rumor that that's what I just assumed that we were gonna bring him back because he was dead.
No, the idea was like Jamie Foxx is gonna be playing green and yellow suited Electro, who wasn't the Dr. Manhattan looking Electro from Amazing Spider-Man 2. So if that's the case, it's just a different version of Electro that's in the MCU.
Yeah. Oh, so he's just a different Doc.
More confusing to me, honestly, than pulling from the multiverse. But
so much more confusing.
Yeah, I don't fully know. But I agree with you. I think one of these demons is what she unleashed, and that would make sense for Agatha not being a villain going forward. She's afraid of what's beyond.
I don't think Agatha's a villain anymore. I don't think she's a villain. The only villainous thing she did was kill a dog.
I love her more that way.
Yeah, I truly was like, after thinking about it and what she was saying too, I was like, yeah, wait, no, Wanda, you were doing the bad stunts. She didn't put those people in that coma. She didn't take over this town.
Right.
She especially when she snapped that cord, I was like, damn, you harsh Agatha. But then I was like, nah, she literally just let someone breathe. Like,
yeah.
I don't know.
We should move on to our next Wizard of which is all about Agatha. What happens to Agatha now? And Jess, do you think she stays in the trance as Agnes after Wanda ends the hex?
Absolutely. I think she's gonna stay in Westview. Yeah, it's still the town. Westview is not made up. I think she's gonna stay in that town. The thing that's funny about me thinking that she's gonna stay in that town is how are her neighbors not gonna recognize her as that lying witch that was fighting Wanda in the sky earlier, and they're gonna be okay with it. But I think she's gonna stay in Westview as the nosy, happy neighbor. But because she was dressed like today's neighborly woman, so I think she's just gonna stay there until, like she said, until I need you. So I think she's gonna stay there, and then Wanda's gonna go back, take her out of her mind field, and be like, "Yo, I need you to tell me how to use your powers correctly. Like I've been spraying bullets all over the place or something."
Right. I think that's part of why the residents of Westview were so resentful to Wanda, other than the fact that she mind controlled them right after the traumatic blip had happened.
Yeah.
So trauma to trauma back to back. So they're already pissed. But they glared at her. She walked out, and I think Agatha might have been part of that because she left Agatha there as a way to kind of send a message to the others, like, I can do this to all of you anytime I want. Even though she doesn't want to. She feels apologetic to them. But to them, they have this creepy-ass witch who lives up in this house up on the hill. They tell their kids to stay the hell away from her because she's just a crazy, hi, doesn't someone want to come to my cook-off? And they're like, bitch, no. Stay away from you. And witch, please. And they all keep their distance because this woman is evidence of this weird witch battle that happened a couple months ago.
Absolutely. That's reason for me to be quiet as a neighbor. I just don't want to be involved. I already have 9 suppressing my child locked in my room. I don't want that to happen again. So I do think Agatha, I am going on record for me myself saying Agatha isn't the villain anymore, and that's more reason to keep her in the MCU going forward, is because she's not you can't really keep an asshole on the good person side for long. So I think she's gonna stay as look, if you need my help, I guess I gotta help you. I don't.
Yeah. I think she's gonna be did you ever watch the soap opera Passions?
No. I only watch one soap opera.
There is a soap opera with a witch in it.
Okay, look, I'm already into it.
It's called Passions. I only know about this because my sister got a job one summer and she was obsessed with the show, my older sister, and she's like, I will pay you $3 a day if you take Passions for me while I'm at my job. So I'd be like, fine, and I'd put it in, and I would end up watching this show, and I got sucked into Passions. There is a witch in Passions who brings a doll to life, and it's just this whole other side plot that doesn't at all affect the drama, the relationship drama, and I think that's what Agatha's going to be in the MCU. They're like, hey, let's check in with that witch over there, and she's like, I'm just talking to my dolls, leave me alone.
I'm just talking to my dolls. You're like, hey, I just need to borrow a cup of sugar. I know you can make that appear magically, so as long as I go into the store, you just help me out.
She's like, Bruce Banner, you are gaining weight. I'm not giving you anything.
I'm not giving you anything, Bruce Banner. I hope that's who she's gonna be in the future.
I just want Agatha to be a witch. I want Agatha to be a witch.
Do you think she lost all of her powers?
No, I think she still got some.
I think she still got a little bit. She can do little things, she can make things cool, but she definitely can't control a human again. Oh, was it happened to the twins?
Yeah, so I think these twins never existed to begin with. That's my theory. I think these twins were always a piece of demonic magic that was used to trick Wanda through outside forces from the Darkhold. Because Wanda at the end says, thank you for choosing me to be your mom. Wanda kind of created, but Wanda and Vision obviously didn't conceive these kids normally, right? It's implied that they fooled around, but Vision's a robot. He can't conceive children. We didn't see Wanda create these kids the way she created Vision. So I think these kids were tricks that came from, and they weren't fully fleshed out characters, right? They were kind of these ideal versions. And I think for the purposes of this, in the Hex, they were sweet boys who wanted Wanda's help, or wanted to help Wanda and their dad, Vision. But I think their voices screaming from the Darkhold at the end, I think that was the voice of whatever demon you want to be in the MCU. I think they're the voice, that was the voice of Mephisto in that moment.
I can see that. I can see the ending part. I really have a hard time believing that those kids were they were there, but they weren't real. They were there as much as Vision was there,
Not as much as Vision was there. I think they were, because they weren't created by her magic, they were pulled through some other means.
Do you think not? This ties in with our next one.
Yeah, but I think these boys are demon spawn. And I think that was just, they are going to eventually bring in this thing of Mephisto has pieces of his soul that at some point later in the future, Wanda's going to be like, then what were my sons? And Dr. Strange is going to be like, sit down, honey. There's a demon. And he keeps doing that. You're not the only one he's done this to. He does it to a lot of people, but he makes people think they have kids.
That way we're not actually seeing the process of these kids being evaporated and sucked into the skin of a demon. That makes sense. Because we didn't even see them, like, die.
I think we might still see that. I mean, these two actors, one of these actors just tweeted me. It was so cool. I was so flattered. Yeah, Julian Hilliard, who played Billy, was so sweet. And he said, I'm sorry I wasn't Mephisto all along. But I'm like, not a clue. He was just being nice.
Baby.
Yeah, but he was like, I think these kids might be in Multiverse of Madness. And that whole story gets shown there.
Well, this is the thing that's going to piss me off about the casting, because I was, like, looking at the casting for Doctor Strange 2, and I was like, how many of these people are just going to be, like, flashbacks? I'd hope they wouldn't do that, but I was like, watch them be flashbacks for Wanda, and that's why they're, like, credited as cast in the movies, and I'm going to be like, yeah! I'm gonna be
I think the kids is how Wanda gets lured into the Multiverse of Madness. She's going to go on a chase to try to find these kids in different realities.
Yeah, I think
when she finds them, they're going to be a snare, and this is going to rope her in. Or speculative talk. We'll see. I've been wrong before, folks. I'll be wrong again. But let's talk about our next one.
Yeah.
What was For the Children about? They said For the Children. Did this come from Wanda, or did it come from Agatha? Who was making these people chant For the Children?
I think it was coming from Wanda, since she still had a rope on those people. I understand why it could come from Agatha, because she's just like, oh, I'm getting bored with this. Like, fast forward, I need you to tell me where you got your powers. But I think it's Wanda, because she is going through the steps of, like, what a normal housewife does in those, like, old television shows. So they're, like, she consciously, or, like, deep in her mind, knew that it was time to have a child soon. So,
yeah, because Agatha clearly didn't really need or want those kids for anything.
She did.
She just wanted Wanda's chaos magic. That's it. So you're right, yeah. It would have been Wanda, not Agatha. There is a theory that it could have just been like a natural thing of the townspeople of begging Wanda to free their children.
That's so sad.
That's super sad, but Dottie was like, I'll have my kid do any storyline you want. You know,
that scene, I was like, Wanda, you locked them in a bedroom? Are they eating? What are they doing? How are they consuming food? Do they use the bathroom? That's why I think Wanda is the villain. Like, she doesn't have to be like a villain, but like, it's definitely not Agatha.
You're right.
Agatha didn't lock up children. She choked out too. But they weren't real. So it's like.
That's right.
Yeah. Did she?
Exactly. Now, we should move on. We have a bit of time left. We want to talk about Wizard of with those purple vines going down into Agatha's basement.
Yes,
when did Agatha set up that whole dungeon? Because it wasn't her house. It was Ralph's house.
She just took
so how did she have time to build all that? Was it just with magic, you think, Jess? Just magic?
Well, owning the house or the vining?
All of it.
I at first was on board with you saying that these were the flowers from Wondergore, so I was like, yeah, this could seem true. But I also think out of just a witch aesthetic, it's just the powers of like if it wasn't, it's like hard to explain, but like if it was a different witch, maybe it would have been moss. If they're like forest kind of witches. If it was like metal, it would be like someone that did witchcraft here in town. I don't know. It's hard to explain. It's so weird. It's such craft kind of shit. But which is a good movie from the 90s. But
are you saying some witches use different kinds of plants?
Yeah, I think they like learn different things. And
I use mushrooms.
Okay, shut up. Yeah, it just sprouted mushrooms. She's like, go ahead, take a bite. It's a poison that kills spiders.
Hey, the cremini, a shiitake.
Mushroom. Many of recipes I can make with my mushroom.
Shut up, mushroom witch.
Where's my kid's mushroom witch? She's like, oh, I didn't want that nickname. But I think hers was just like, because she was like, when she was about to get killed in the forest, it gave off that same vibe of her basement, where it was like, we're in the forest, we're in the dark, and the vines are her color, are her purple. So I think it was just like, as her powers grew, the vines reached. So that's why it was like, all over the place. But I bet at first it was just like, oozy and weird in the middle of the cellar.
I think, like, the implication of the ending of episode 7 to the beginning of episode 8 is that this witch just set up shop. And, she uses these runes. This, when that whole journey through the past ended, Wanda was in a studio set. And then when she left through those doors, she was outside Agatha's house, kind of like Willy Wonka door style. So, this whole house is kind of X in a weird way, and that's part of, maybe it's just some witch spell where it's like, once you set up residence, you can set it up with your weird satanic stuff.
the grandma from Halloween Town. She pulled brooms out of her purse. I'm sure she could have pulled
Mary
like
Poppins.
a whole
Mary Poppins pulling shit out.
Witches have traits.
Witches
Witches
know how to travel.
Let me tell you right now, they can pack a bag. They don't gotta check anything because they can take it all.
Yeah. So our final WTF before we talk about some devil stuff. What was the deal with the cicadas?
So
do we have an answer there? Was it just
people
thing?
People are connecting the fly and Mephisto still. So if you want to ride that, I would understand. I think it was just to show that look at the magic I can do. And if it wasn't a cicada, it would have been like a moth. If it wasn't a moth, it would have been.
Oh, yeah, it was to demonstrate her animal transfiguration, but also to set up the Senior Scratchy Rabbit to eat.
Yes.
So they needed a way to foretell that thing being a carnivorous beast, so that in the finale episode when that crazy scene happens, they're like, he ate those bugs. So it's just to show a food chain.
Absolutely.
Yeah. They needed a fly that was large enough to where we heard a crunch of that rabbit eating it.
Oh yeah, they were like, what insect makes a large enough crunch that's not a roach, but flies like a roach? And they're like, okay.
And a cicada's kind of like a moth that I feel like that probably was a Silence of the Lambs thing of Wanda looking at the curtains and being like, whoa,
whoa.
They're just making choices. All right, one final. What the devil? So, what the devil? When will Mephisto appear, Jess? Do you think it'll be Loki, Multiverse of Madness, Moon Knight, Midnight Suns, Blade, Ghost Rider?
Never. I think it will. I pitched Doctor Strange too. I think it would. But what is the timeline again? You tell me this every time. But the timeline of when the movies are coming out. So we finished WandaVision. We have Falcon, Winter Soldier.
And then we have Black Widow is still tentatively scheduled for May, but we have Loki in June.
Yes.
Then we have What If, and then we have Hawkeye and Ms. Marvel coming in the fall. We have Shang-Chi over the summer in July. Yes. We have Eternals coming in November.
We got a full thing before.
And then we have Spider-Man, No Way Home coming in December, and then in January of 2022, we could be seeing Moon Knight and or She-Hulk around that time. But in March will be Multiverse of Madness, followed by Thor, Love and Thunder in May.
Well, hopefully they push it up now. At first I was like, I don't think they're going to push it up, but now I'm like, okay, I think they need to push it up so my theory that Mephisto will show up and it makes more sense.
I think it would still make sense even if it's way far away, because, whatever Wanda's problem is will manifest in Multiverse of Madness, and I think we can have patience until then.
They wouldn't make him the, big villain, right?
No.
I think the big villain will be, Wanda, because, I'm not saying it has to be the equivalent to Thanos, I'm just saying, you gotta, for me, as a fan, you have to give me something bigger than that. So, what's bigger than having a member of your own team that is unstoppable?
And I've always thought we don't necessarily need a villain in this, like a capital. be villain. We could see a relationship between Strange and Wanda as kind of a doctor, a healer, and a patient.
Yeah,
and it's just
true.
kind of like this badass therapy scene where they're like in a wizard duel the whole time, but he's really just trying to heal her and help her, and she doesn't want to be helped. So it's not like a story about like Pixar's old rules was that they weren't going to have any obvious villains to the plot. So like if you go back to Toy Story, Sid is kind of a villain, but he's not like the structural villain of the story. Woody is kind of the antagonist of that story. You know, he's kind of a jerk, but then he learns to change and to accept newcomers. And I think good stories do that. And Marvel is kind of evolving to the point to where they don't need a villain in every story.
True. So this is just one where they're like trying to like help her, trying to break it down, and she's just not like either listening or just like I don't know how. That'd be nice.
Right.
Another.
So I think we might get a glimpse of Loki in. We might get a glimpse of Mephisto in Loki. But I think if he does show up, it's going to be in Multiverse of Madness. If not there, it's going to be sometime way in the future when Ghost Rider needs to show up. Because Mephisto's part of Ghost Rider's origin. Yeah.
If it shows up in Loki, I don't think it's going to be a heavy-handed thing. I think it's more so we're going to get a little bit of teaser. Yeah, a little bit. We're going to get a little tape.
A little tight.
It has to be him because how are you going to do Ghost Rider? I know you did WandaVision without, like, I guess, Magneto yet, but, like, Ghost Rider, you kind of have to bring Mephisto in. So
yeah, I mean, Wanda already exists in the MCU, so they were just able to kind of reframe some of the story we already saw. True. But yeah, Ghost Rider, if you introduce some cold turkey, you're going to need a real hot turkey down below.
You're going to have to bring Nicolas Cage with you.
Oh, yes.
Oh my gosh. No, thank you. No, thank you.
Well, one last the Stereo app by going to stereo.com/newrockstar so you can listen to our weekly live shows. You can submit questions and theories and hear us respond in real time. Download the app for free on Apple and Android and create an avatar profile. But that is a wrap on this WandaVision after show. Jess, what a ride it has been. It has been so fun.
Now, what is it about?
Sierra Canyon basketball.
Oh, Sierra Canyon.
Yeah.
You got the Lakers, you got the Clippers, and you got Sierra Canyon.
But your open experience.
What did you think about when they attached in the COVID relief bill 180 days for the CIA to release all the information they have about the UFOs?
That's one of the things I like about this. It's just,
we go from there.
oh my God.
Yeah, we can't be taken seriously that way.
Yeah. No. But I will say this. I tell people this all the time. They say, why is it so entertaining? I say, because he's curious about everything. He's genuinely curious about everything. And it's a good question. Look, I'm happy that when it comes to UFOs, there's a lot of things that the agency needs to keep, off the radar. For sources and methods, right? It's a need-to-know issue. And frankly, again, going back to what's in the U.S. best interest, for that day when China decides to release all of their intel operations and information, then great. Maybe it's time for us to be transparent. But that's not the way the world works.
Do you think that's what it is? A lot of it is just secret programs, defense vehicles.
Well, no. What I'm saying is in terms of the UFO thing, a great portion of it is. Yeah, a great portion of it is
50%.
Oh, now 47%. Actually, but don't tell anybody I said that. That's well known inside the community. Look, I think it's good because I think it's for the same reason the Pentagon released the information about ATIP, about the Advanced Aeronautical Threat Identification Program. I think it's actually good. There's no reason why we shouldn't, unless you are talking about developmental aircraft as an example, right? Which is important because when you're talking about hypersonic aircraft or missiles or whatever it is, there's some stuff that needs to be kept off the the radar screen because there is a tremendous competition going on right now particularly for things like control of space. That's going to be a huge issue, right? Yeah. Because the weaponization of space. For a long time, people were thinking, space, it's a great exploration and it's good for mankind. Frankly, there is a race to figure out how to weaponize space. And so, as an example of what we're talking about, the idea of just saying, we're going to open the books as a country and reveal all our information about developmental aircraft, as an example, that's the wrong move, right?
But do you think there are any credible stories, whether it's from Commander David Fravor, who saw that Tic Tac vehicle off the coast of San Diego, or whatever video?
Yeah. If I had to point to one, I would say Fravor.
Yeah.
I would say, without a doubt, I'd say the one that, if I were somebody who's looking for some redemption, because I've been beating the drum about UFOs and nobody's ever believed me, they always roll their eyes. I would say the one thing that would give them comfort would be the incident with Commander Fravor, and that.
Where's my country gone? It was just here like 2 seconds ago. When they said that this was the land of the free, I'm pretty sure that they were referring to me. And my country's gone. It got upset and now it's wandered away. It took 43 presidents to make us stand tall, and just one black guy to unravel it all. Country gone. Please tell it that we need her back home. There's a great big hole in the Liberty bucket, 'cause someone forgot to tell the foreigners to suck it, and now they're all hanging out on my lawn. And now they're ruining my song, making it sound like Chuck Mangione. Where's my country gone? Seems like everyone's afraid to speak the truth around here. Well, I'm throwing my hat in and saying I'll figure this thing out. Now, I might not understand politics or immigration policies or the law or basic ideological concepts, but damn it, I understand there's a bunch of Canadians here and I'm going to do something about it.
All right, everyone, listen up. In order for better understanding, we've asked students of Canadian origin to introduce you to their culture. And hey, Leslie, shut your fucking mouth! To introduce you to their culture and customs. So let's give them our undivided attention as they take us on a whirlwind journey through their diverse history.
We are the Hopewell and Abenaki, first settlers of Canadian soil. We are French and British explorers, seeking furs and goods.
Yeah, and I'm Dan Rather, and I got news for you. Nobody wants you here. Sorry, not sorry. It's time for someone to say it like it is and make our country great again.
Garrison, what do you think?
And I'm also not afraid to stand up to PC principle. You, sir, have a pizza face and you suck your mom's dick.
That's it, Garrison. You are fired from South Park Elementary.
Oh, see, now I'm fired. That's the cold, hard truth of immigration. Well, there's only one immigration policy that I believe in, and that's fuck them all to death. I'm just saying what everyone's thinking here, kids. Sorry, not sorry.
Dude, the Canadians are pissed off. Can you really blame them?
What made Mr. Garrison do that?
Guys, what if this was all exactly what Kyle planned? Get the Canadians here, make them feel persecuted, and then what? Uprising, rebellion? Next thing you know, they're sending us to camp and using us as livestock.
You really think Kyle would do that?
That doesn't matter. We have to think of a way to smooth this over fast. Yeah, we're gonna need a symbolic union. What? You know, what's that story about the two sides that were fighting, and then a guy from one side got with a girl from the other side, and their love sort of brought the groups together?
Lion King 2?
Yes, Lion King 2. I mean, if we can get one of us to go out with one of them, then it could be a symbol of us all getting along. Yeah, it's kind of like when the princess of one country marries the prince of another.
Oh, come on. This is stupid. You guys, when two groups of people don't understand each other, you can't just try and diffuse the tension.
Is he seriously giving a speech right now? Is he's seriously giving a speech right now. This is going to have to happen pretty fast, so whoever's going to do it needs to ask a Canadian girl out soon. 1, 2, 3, not it. Not it, not it, not it, not it. No, no, not it. Oh, shit.
Support is growing for a Colorado man who claims the way to deal with illegal immigrants is to fuck them all to death. We go live to Minnesota. Tom, the political activist, is going around the country to get support for his agenda. And Mr. Garrison, you believe the immigration problem is easy to solve. Yes, fuck them all to death. Let's make this country great again. And when you say fuck them all to death, what are you actually suggesting be done? I'm suggesting we round them all up, pull down their pants, and fuck them until their spirits leave their bodies. USA! And then after we've fucked every last one of them to death, we build a big wall. And if anyone comes over the wall, we fuck them to death too. And then we fuck to death all
Dan, we are getting word that a wall has already been built. Is that right? Yes? Yeah, CNN is confirming that Canada has built a wall to keep us out. What do you mean they built a wall? They can't build a fucking wall. Oh, fuck them to death.
Hey there. Beautiful day, isn't it?
What the hell is this?
Ah, this is the wall. Sorry, buddy, nobody allowed in. They do that?
Look, we came to speak with your government about the...
Yeah, no, sorry. Everything past here is ours. You can't go past here.
We're Americans. We don't even want to be over there. What do you think we're going to do?
Well, you know, we just don't want you raping our women and stuff.
That is ridiculous. All right, smart ass. That's just about
Look,
enough.
there's just some really cool shit back here, and we don't feel like sharing it.
Cool shit like what?
Don't worry about it.
No, what's back there? Let me see. It's all right, Karen. No, goddammit, let me see.
What about that one? In the glasses? She's kind of hot.
She's not hot. She looks like a messed up cucumber with wieners on it.
All right. How about the lanky one there? Ooh, what about the one in the hat? She kind of looks like Alanis Morissette, huh?
Alanis Morissette is like 80 years old or something.
Okay, Butters, relax.
Well, I don't want a Canadian girlfriend, Eric.
Okay, you just want a race war?
No. The one in the white shoes isn't that ugly.
Okay, go fuck the one in the white shoes.
Okay. Hi, my name's Butters. What's yours? I'm Charlotte. Oh, Charlotte. I've never done this before. You think Scar's up there? He wasn't my father, but he's still part of me. Oh, no, Simba. We have barely begun. We'll run away together
And start a pride all of our own.
Tom, the scene at the Canadian border is electric as several political leaders try and strategize how to deal with being shut out of Canada. If the Canadian government wants to put up a wall, they have every right.
And yet we must ask why they thought this to be necessary.
No, fuck them and fuck you. I want to see if they have really cool shit back there.
What we need is...
No, you've got a gaping gash, and you've got vinegary balls. The Canadians can't do this. Don't they realize that hundreds of thousands of their people are over here illegally?
Oh, you guys didn't put up a wall?
And you keep your goddamn mouth shut, smartass. I'll deal with you. I get things done, and I'm getting back there.
Here you go. Thanks, Butters. I'm sorry. I didn't know what ice cream was. What's sorry? Well, that's what Canadians say to express remorse. Oh, hey, that's neato. Oh, hang on, Charlotte. One sec. What do you want?
Have you given her the old hot Cosby yet?
No, we saw a movie and now we're going to the park.
Butters, we don't have time for that. I told you you have to cut to the chase for the hot Cosby.
If I'm going to be with this girl, I don't want her someday thinking it was all super rushed.
Nobody cares about 40 years from now when she suddenly changes her mind, Butters. Time is of the essence. We're all gonna die.
Everything all right?
Yeah, just some work-related stuff.
So, hey, I wanted to see if you wanted to come over to my house for dinner tomorrow. Oh, boy, yes, I'd love to. Here we go. Oh, God.
Okay, that's good. Watch the bowels. Okay, all right, give me the helmet. We'll see what they've got behind that goddamn wall. You know what I am, friends? I'm a doer. Canada says we can't go into their country. I'm going into their country. And when I do, I am fucking every last Canadian so hard. All right, let's do this.
daughter have started a romance.
Well, yes, sir.
And I suppose you have a thing for Canadian girls, huh? Is that it? You got maple fever?
Hey, Daddy!
I'm sorry, Charlotte, but I get suspicious. Bad enough we have to live in America. Now all the boys with maple fever are going to want to have it our daughter.
That's enough, Thomas. Wait, you don't want to be here? Why would we want to be here? Well, you know, because everything is great here and we have cool stuff.
Canada has everything. It's the greatest country on earth.
But, so, then why did you leave?
There were several candidates during the Canadian elections. One of them was this brash asshole who just spoke his mind. He didn't really offer any solutions. He just said outrageous things. We thought it was funny. Nobody really thought he'd ever be president. It was a joke. But we just let the joke go on for too long. He kept gaining momentum, and by the time we were all ready to say, okay, let's get serious now, who should really be president, he was already being sworn into office. We weren't paying attention. We weren't paying attention!
Jeez, how bad can a president be?
If certain people want to leave this country, then let them! You tell those pussy homos they can suck my balls!
But, Mr. President...
And tell the Prime Minister of China that he can suck my balls. Oh, and Johnson?
Mr. President?
Suck my balls.
I'm sorry about my papa. He can be really emotional sometimes. You don't got to be sorry. It's me who should be sorry. I think everyone has the wrong idea about your people, Charlotte. It's okay. We just have to give them time. I wasn't supposed to have time. I was supposed to give you a hot cotton so our species could coexist. But now I realize you guys don't even want to be here. Oh. So do you want to be here? Now? There's really nowhere I'd rather be. If it's okay with you, I'd like to try a nice slow Cosby instead. In Canada, we call a slow Cosby love. Oh, look! A shooting star. In Canada, we say that's good luck. So do we.
Hello? Hey! Where is everyone, gang?
Jeez.
We can dance if we want to. We can leave your...
Dad, how did a U.S. citizen get past my wall?
I came here to find out where my country gone.
Where your country gone? Where my country gone?
No, where my country gone, bitch?
Nobody talks to me like that, buddy.
Nobody talks to me like that, friend. Yeah? Asshole. Think you can. Hey, there you go. There you go. I came here to do one thing.
Hey, what the? Hey, that post, buddy. Ah.